On your mark.
My name's Angus Hincksman. I'm a T38 para-athlete running in the 1500 metres at the Paris Paralympic Games. When I was born with cerebral palsy, had a brain injury at birth, and my parents were pretty much told that they need to expect for life in a wheelchair. When things ended up turning out a lot better than they expected, they just thought, we were told that you weren't going to be able to walk, and now you're walking. So they were always like, we're not going to limit you and we're going to let you figure out what you can do. I have CP on both of my calves, and it's called spastic diplegia. I used to have like serial castings and calipers when I was in school. So pretty much these casts and calipers sit your calves and your feet in like a 90-degree position. It's like a boot, and it straps around your legs. It stops you from flexing your toes like outwards. And I hated my calipers. They used to need to, one of them, when they first put me in calipers, I destroyed them within like 3 days. And then they needed to build new ones that I couldn't break. And whenever I was doing sports and activity, I was able to take those off. I remember every Tuesday, Thursday, my grandpa would pick me up from school. He'd take the dog for a walk on the beach, and I would run along the beach while he was walking the dog. And I'd run just till I was almost out of sight, and then I'd come back. And it was like sort of a feeling of freedom for me was running, and it was a way to sort of, I would say, not let my disability define me. So I was just like any other kid. I was hanging out with mates. I was playing footy all the time. I played footy until about under 12s, played a lot of cricket, have always done surf lifesaving. In 2015, I qualified for my school cross-country team and sort of streamlined from there. Qualified for my first state team and got taught about para-athletics through Novita, who were helping me with my CP at the time. So they pretty much told me about this avenue where I could get classified, run as a para-athlete, taught me about the Paralympics for the first time. So there's a ton of classifications. I think there's 5 cerebral palsy and coordination impairment classifications ranging from T38 to T35. So T38's the mildest of the cerebral palsy and coordination impairment classification. That's my classification. And when we go to the Paralympics and World Champs, I verse other T38s, where on a local stage at Nationals, I would compete in a multi-class system. Say we're running a 1500 and my world record is 3:47, and I'm racing someone with a world record of 4 minutes. So 3:47, 4 minutes. I need to beat that person by 13 seconds to beat them in a multi-class race.
So they're away now.
2022, 2023, I made some massive jumps in my running times. I broke 4 minutes for the 1500 for the first time, which was a massive barrier for the T38 class, and it's pretty much the equivalent to the 4-minute mile. There's only a handful of T38 runners that have ever run that time, and from my knowledge, I was the youngest to ever do it. I broke it at 17. That led me to go to World Champs in 2023, which was a massive thing for me, and came away with the bronze, which was a massive moment for me, and I was able to experience that with my family. I was one of the first to be selected in the para-athletics team. So to be selected in the first 50 is, I'd say it's a pretty big honour and something I'm pretty keen about, and I'm glad to do and sort of proud of. I started my athletics journey in 2015, and this has been sort of a 7-8 year journey to where I am now, and to say that I thought that it was going to happen like this was, I didn't really think I was going to be doing this early, I would say. I just want to be confident and comfortable with everything I've done standing on the start line. I obviously have a goal to just run as best as I can and bring home a medal. And I feel like the good thing about the Paralympics is it's relatable. You get to see the struggles of a para-athlete, and you get to hear their inspirational stories, and something you can really relate to, which I think is incredible. It's a moment where people with disabilities have the ability to shine, and they get to show the world what they do.